Hello, good afternoon Tribuners. Welcome back with me Kustul Asyaifah in Indonesian News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an up-to-date interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here the complete news. The first news is, stamped down by the contract worker die. A construction worker has crushed to death by being crushed under the rubble of the remains of the building on the Cempaka Putih Street, Subur Resident Gang, Kuripan Village, East Banjarmasin District. Banjarmasin City, South Kalimantan, the man whose identity is still unknown, is known to be a construction worker whose job to tear down the rest of the building. On the field observation, the victim body was squeezed between the side wall and the contract center the house. The victim was seen bleeding because he was so panicked as the seat in the sitting position. A location resident, Makarama, felt that he was the first to meet the construction workers at the time, said Makarama. He possibly has the victim was already died because he was it from a distance for about of 5 meters. The same thing was also experienced by the Tugiato, a local resident. He relieved that the incident was a clarity due to a work occurred the recent half of 20 in the afternoon. Furthermore, after being successfully evacuated, the victim bodies were separately taken by point of volunteer to the Morde Valley of the Ulidin Hospital in Banjarmasin. The next news is the discovery of bodies is snagged at the Lake Segawir. Residents of the Tangerang city who were relaxing on the Lake Gawir were sadly surprised by the ugly figure of the corpse that emerged to the surface. As Prince Frenny report, a corpse wrapped in the white snakes was found floating in the middle of the Gawir Lake, Legok District, Tangerang Regency on Thursday, the 31 May 2022. Sogi, 36 years old, and 36 years old, a local resident told me that the first had via the shop near the Lake Gawir and had a combination. Apparently, there is a resident were surprised that suddenly a white snake with a large size appeared. Sogi said, initially, many friends were the election finished that show something coming and the surface. Because it was crying away, while the wind with the whistle a sack contained the course while the bit evacuated immediately. The sack itself was closer to the lips of the local Gawir. The head of the Emergency and the Logistic Division of the Tangerang Regency Regional Disaster Management Agency, Abdul Mudir, said that the same thing. According to him, initially the body has separated to the surface but was badly off the lake. Mudir continued, the position of the course was the end and the lake approximately 100 meters from the land. The team from the Tangerang Regency Regional Disaster Management Agency carrying out an evacuation of the crews after battling with the Tangerang Police Edan Filki unit. He continued, the corpse died naturally because there's one from a sharp object at the head area. The position of the dead body is tight. The hands of the part in the sack. The South Tangerang Police succeeded in the Uni Village. The tragedy of the discovery of body, a man who was found floating in the Gawir Lake, Legok District, Tangerang City, previously report and a resident found the corpse floating like a Gawir on the Thursday. The Sud Tangerang Police Chief, adjutant to the police commissioner Sarli Solu, said that the two previous nation has been trained. He said. The next news is, for all-in-one 80,000 in Surya Safe Bulgar suddenly arrested by the Sekupang police. Tarwin, a resident of Tibang, Sekupang sub-district, was finally specific. The reason is Sekupang Police Criminal Investigation Unit managed to uncover the threat of the theft by arresting for a previous nation. The crime occurred on a Monday, the 18th of April 2022. At the time, four preventers broke into 80,000 Tibang to a compressor Sekupang Historia shop at the Batam City. Sekupang Police Commissioner Yuda Suryawardana said the Sekupang police had arrested for the suspect preventer of the South Theft crime. Each of the preventers had the initial ZA, MES, ERA, and GM. The mastermind of the action was GM. Yuda said that the incident was only discovered at around 10 a.m. The complainant, together with the employees, opened 8,000 in Surya shop, which is location at the Tibang, 3 Sekupang. After a few minutes, the victim was about to enter admin room that was shown and the door was open. The reporter called another employee to join and check the admin room. It's turning out the child staff at the room was the lawyer and the tree. Upon closer inspection, it turned out the privatization at the back door was already to open. The item was missing from the 8,000 department store where in the broadcast. The amount of 47,413,000 rupiah. With this incident, the victim suffering a loss of the 47,463,000 rupiah. The victim was reported the incident to the Sekupang police. The next news is, chronology of the motorist dispatcher to the Brick Tok Baslam Toll Road. Viral on social media Instagram, a motorbike driver was dispatched to Brick Tok the Balikpapan Samarinda or Baslam Toll Road. The incident on Tuesday, 30 May 2022 at the two greatly shocked the people of the East Kalimantan. The motorcycle rider name is Ahmad Hasan Basri, who was 37 years old, drove on the Balsam Road road with the essence. From the video circulation, it appears that a number of officers used crossing Ahabi who was riding a Honda Vario bike with the police number KB 64H2 EMO. He approached a Travis Balsam Toll route. The Chief Samba told authorities at the time at the GTM security on Tati did not see a motorbike because it was blocked a parlor. With the release, the motorbike had broke. The cat security immediately reported the incident to the Balasban to the Traffic Information Center. Then the cats were crying out by the security motor and the PGR. However, the privatization inhabited the hit and warning given by the PGR. Inside of the opening, when Christ River mentioned by the officer, Ihibe advisedly advances ahead of time, avoids officer car and blocked him. After the cast, Ihibe, with finally crying and secured by the bike surrounded by the officer, the Private Nation has a motorbike by currently being held the Balas Mantol PGR office, and the cast has a big travel made to the nearest ports. The next news is 30 illegal Indonesian migrant workers arrested. As a result, 30 illegal Indonesian migrant workers was secured by the Marinese Ambalat police arrested when suspect of being a broker through their destination as DPOs. One suspect broker in Dudukan, the initial BH 49 years old, was arrested by the police for the illegally being involved in facilitating the illegally entry and 30 Indonesian migrant worker PMI from Sulawesi and West Nusa Tenggara into Malaysia Saturday, May 29, 2022 in the morning. Dozens of Indonesian migrant workers were secured by the Ambalat Marine Task Force when he was there, illegally crossing into Tau, Malaysia via the Madarak River and Akoi River, Pambangan village with the Batik Nunukan Regency. One of 30 Indonesian migrant workers, 14 of them are adult men, 10 adult women, 3 boys and 3 girls. Nunukan Police Chief Adjutant Senior Commissioner of Police Ricky Hadrianto told the acting head of the police relationship and the Nunukan Police. Supriyadi said that the 4 report brokers, only one suspect and successfully secured to the Nunukan Police. Meanwhile, the 3 suspects have been named 100% to Nunukan Police. The suspect BH and the internet with a minimum of 5 years in prison, a maximum of 15 years in prison. The next news is the prices of the releasing the Sumatra tiger works 110 this kilogram. A male Sumatran tiger, Panthera tigris sumatra, agrees and to 10 years old, which is some time ago, with the crying in the trap of the Jambi Natural Research Conservation Agency, was finally released to the habitat, the current zone, to the forest area in Kerinci Sablat National Park in the Jambi. The tiger was released district by the head of the Kerinci Sablat National Park Center and the head of the Jambi KSDA office, the Directorate General of the Conservation of Natural Research and the Ecosystem, together with the Directorate General of the Climate Change Control or PPI of the Ministry of the Environment and the Forestry by helicopter on the Tuesday, being before the flood. A team for the Jambi Natural Research Conservation Center with the sentence the tiger with a body weight and overall length as and very upper cranial leg 6.2 and a longer canine leg 3.5 cm at the Animal Rescue Center of the National Rescue Conservation, which is located in the Bandalo Juluka Muaro, Jambi. After being settled, the tiger was then put into transport check and the boat balanced from the Bandalo to the Muaro Bungo Airport. head of the Jambi Natural Rescue Conservation Agency Rahmat Saleh said that the newborn arrived at the airport and his body first dispensed Prenecol, it said. The Crown Zone awards Kerinci Sablat National Park to establish a release point. After all process took place, the tiger was finally released in the good condition to the return its original habitat. The last news is the rag shop in Pekanbaru sold out on a fire. The shop selling car tires on the Imam Street Mudarah or Harapan Raya, Pekanbaru was derived by the Red Rooster on the Wednesday, May 10, 2022. The Permaisuri Aneka, a tire shop, caught a fire at the one. The fire is believed to have originated from the short circuit and the pickup truck incident. The show Pekanbaru fire was the Commander Nur Bukli said the fire came and sparked from a pickup car and a workshop. Workshop which finally with the car crash, said Nur Bukli to reporter. Bukli also explained that there was of a calculation in the fire incident that inaugurated from the story car repair shop. The fire came up from a car and then grabbing gasoline and burned it at the first floor of the workshop, which is in the Valley Car Tires. Well, I think that's all for news for today with me, Kustul Ashaifah. Thank you for watching.